Remember that feeling when you're on a road trip, craving a Whopper, and your American mate asks, "Wait, why isn't there any Burger King in Australia?" Instead, there's this bold red and yellow sign, Hungry Jack's, grilling up the same flame-grilled burgers, but with a totally different name. Ever wondered how that happened? This isn't just a story about fast food, it's about legal loopholes, business betrayals, a corporate war spanning decades, and how Australia ended up with one of the world's weirdest branding backstories. So grab your chips, settle in, and let's bite into the story of Hungry Jack's versus Burger King, the burger battle you never knew about. Let's roll it back to the late 1960s. Burger King is a giant in the US, expanding like wildfire, selling Whoppers coast to coast. By the early 70s, the big American chains, McDonald's, KFC, are already colonizing the Australian fast food landscape. So naturally Burger King wants in. But there's a twist. When they try to register their name, they hit a wall. Someone's already beaten them to it. A tiny takeaway shop in Adelaide, South Australia, already had the name Burger King trademarked. So what do you do when you're a global burger giant and can't use your own name? You improvise. Enter Pillsbury, which owned Burger King at the time. They searched their own portfolio for a name and landed on Hungry Jack, a pancake mix brand they'd acquired. Add an apostrophe and an S, and suddenly Australia has Hungry Jacks. The first Hungry Jacks opened in Perth in 1971, selling pretty much the exact same menu as Burger King in the States: Whoppers, fries, shakes, the works. But even though the food was the same, the branding was now uniquely Aussie. Hungry Jack's wasn't just an off-brand Burger King, it was the local version, with its own identity and quirks. Through the 70s, 80s, and 90s, Hungry Jack's exploded across Australia. McDonald's might have had the clown, but Hungry Jack's had the flame-grilled burgers, the late-night runs, and that cheeky Better Beef ad campaign. For millions of Aussies, it became an institution. Late-night Whopper fixes, school holiday feed stops, post-footy snack runs. They weren't just copying Burger King, they were building an Aussie brand, bold, slightly rebellious, and always up for a feed. But the story doesn't end there. By the 1990s, the original Burger King trademark in Australia lapses. Burger King HQ in the US suddenly sees an opportunity. What if they just open actual Burger King stores in Australia? Sounds simple, but there's a catch. By now, Hungry Jack's is huge, and the franchise agreement with parent company Hungry Jack's Pty Ltd, run by Jack Cowan, an absolute legend in Aussie franchising, is still in place. What does Burger King do? They go behind their partner's back. BK starts opening rival Burger King stores in Australia, especially in airports and food courts, directly competing with their own franchisee, Jack Cowan. It's a corporate betrayal. BK versus HJ's head-to-head on Aussie soil. And for regular Aussies, suddenly there are two near-identical burger chains, with one being way more American and the other feeling homegrown. Of course, this goes nuclear in court. Jack Cowan and Hungry Jack's sue Burger King, arguing breach of contract and unfair competition. The court case drags on for years, millions of dollars, stacks of paperwork, lawyers raking it in. But in 2001, the verdict lands. The court side with Hungry Jack's. Burger King is ordered to pay damages, and most of the new Burger King stores either shut down or get rebranded as Hungry Jack's. The American brand is out. Jack Cowan and Hungry Jack's own the Aussie burger throne. But the battle for hearts, minds, and stomachs wasn't just fought in the courts. It happened in TV ads, drive-thrus, and late-night cravings all over Australia. Hungry Jack's didn't just survive Burger King's attempted takeover, they built something even bigger, a uniquely Australian fast food identity. Let's break down how they pulled it off. First, the marketing. Hungry Jack's leaned hard into being Aussie as. Their ads were cheeky, straight-talking, and just a little bit rebellious, always going toe-to-toe with Macca's, but never taking themselves too seriously. Slogans like, "The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's" became catchphrases. They ran clever campaigns poking fun at rivals, and in the social media era, they turned fan memes and inside jokes into engagement gold. Next, the menu. While you'll always find the Whopper front and center, Hungry Jack's put their own spin on things. Limited edition burgers, Aussie exclusive desserts, and even vegan Whoppers showed they were tuned into what locals wanted, even if it was just a frozen Coke on a blazing summer's day. They partnered with brands like Violet Crumble and Tim Tam for wild collabs, and their Storm dessert has become a legend in its own right. Crucially, Hungry Jack's adapted to Australia's love for deals and value meals. Their app offers 2-for-1 deals and stunner meals help them stay relevant and affordable, especially for students, families, and anyone hunting for a late-night bargain. And let's not forget location. Hungry Jack's became a staple at highway service stops, city centers, and suburban shopping strips. For heaps of Aussies, the road trip isn't complete without a servo stop for a Whopper, chips, and maybe a cheeky shake. Over decades, these moves embedded Hungry Jack's into the fabric of Aussie life. It's not just an American chain with a different name, it's a place packed with local memories, birthday parties, first dates, late night study breaks, road trips, the stuff nostalgia is made of. So what does Hungry Jack's stand for now? It's not just a burger chain, it's a brand that represents winning the underdog fight, not by being the biggest, but by being the smartest, most adaptive, and most in tune with Aussie tastes. It's a reminder that even when global brands try to muscle in, there's always room for local character, wit, and just enough stubbornness to hold the line. And as cost of living pressures rise, Hungry Jack's has found ways to keep serving real value without losing its sense of fun. It's managed to bridge generations, grandparents who remember the first stores, teens who live for app deals, and expats who come back home for the real Whopper. In the end, Australia didn't just get a copy of Burger King, it got something better. A brand that's uniquely its own, forged through corporate war, legal drama, and a dash of Aussie cheek. But the story of Hungry Jack's isn't just about burgers, lawsuits, or clever marketing. It's also a case study in how Australia deals with big overseas brands, and the results shape the fast food industry for decades to come. See, Hungry Jack's proved that you can't always copy-paste an American giant into Aussie culture and expect instant loyalty. Brands that want to win here have to adapt, listen, and sometimes even let go of their own ego. When Burger King tried to muscle in, Aussies backed the local underdog. Even though the Whopper is American, Hungry Jack's made it feel homegrown. This saga set the template for what would follow. Look at the success of Macca's Aussie-only menu items, or the rise of brands like Guzman Gomez and Grilled, which put their own spin on international food styles, making them unmistakably Australian. It's also why some global giants have stumbled here, think Taco Bell or Starbucks, because Aussies can spot a lazy rebrand a mile away. If it's not genuinely local, we're not buying in. The Hungry Jack's story is still playing out today too. The brand keeps tweaking, innovating, and keeping pace with a country that loves a bargain, a laugh, and a little bit of cheek. It's the ultimate proof that if you want to win Aussie hearts and appetites, you need more than just a famous logo. You need local flavor, resilience, and a story that feels like it belongs. So, next time you walk into Hungry Jack's for a cheeky late night feed, remember, you're not just ordering a burger, you're ordering a slice of Australian business history, a legal loophole, a corporate war, and a local brand that stood its ground. Did you grow up with HJs, or do you remember the brief weird era of Burger King in Australia? Let us know your best Hungry Jack's memory, or the weirdest thing you've ever seen on their menu in the comments below. If you enjoyed this dive into Aussie retail history, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more deep dives into the stories behind your favorite brands. Thanks for watching, stay curious, and don't forget, the burgers really are better at Hungry Jack's.